Just start there, Jacob, and go here.
Chip Patterson, CBS Sports. Was there any planning in having the front court be all the player representatives today?
Micah, were you involved in that decision?
I cannot say that I was involved in that decision. They just kind of told us right before that we had media today.
All right, let's go second row here.
Micah and then Tommy, just what was your guys' reaction last night when you found out you're playing the back-to-back national champions? It looked like Dan Hurley was really excited for this one. Just your thoughts on playing those guys? Whoever wants to go first. Don't all jump at once.
Go ahead.
Sure. I know as a team we're really excited to play this game. You know, it's going to be a great game. We're going to go out there, two really good teams, and it's going to be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with him on that. Obviously, it's unique to go against the back-to-back national champions. I know that we were back-to-back national champions in 06-07, and so I think that we want to go out there and we just want to, do our work early and get the game over with.
All right, any other questions? Go to the front. Ethan, front row here, please.
For whichever one of you wants to answer, getting the first game out of the way, does that kind of make you feel more relaxed or at ease, et cetera? Anything like that?
Ruben, could you answer that, please?
I would say, it's just the same mindset we have. There's no room for, relax or anything. It's just going out there, taking care of our business, doing what we do all year, just believing in that and just going out there and doing we don't have the urge, to relax just because we won one game. This is a 6-game streak that we're looking forward to. So, we are tackling, each game at a time. So we just, ready for the moment to embrace it and, just live the moment.
Okay, fourth row there, Jacob.
Chris Harry, University of Florida. Alex and Tommy, excuse me, when I say UConn to you guys, given what's happened with them the last 2 years, aside from just saying two-time national champions, how would you describe how they play, what you know about them, that kind of thing?
Alex, could you go first, please?
Yeah, I think UConn are very well coached. They have a really good system in place. Our coach has been saying that they're really good at scoring the ball, so I think defense is really important tomorrow. We come out and guard the right way, initiate the physicality, and I think our offense will come to us, but the defense is the main thing for us tomorrow as a front court.
And Thomas, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree. Super well coached team. They like to get to their stuff in the half court, and we're going to need a good job. But we're going to have to do a good job of staying on their man and guarding our yard.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Yes, sir. Up front here, Jacob. All the way up front, yeah.
Zach Alberti on three. UConn leads the country in block shots. Just what do you guys think about the challenge of going up against them and how you have to be mindful of that in this matchup?
Micah, could you handle that?
A really big thing of ours is playing off two. While we might be able to drive, like you said, they're a very good shot blocking team. So you drive, you get them up in the air, you look opposite, look out, get open shots for others. I think that's what makes us a special team is we're very unselfish with the ball. So we just got to play our game, and I think we can get it done.
Okay, right here in the middle up front.
Tommy, Todd and Elijah were talking yesterday just about the complacency after the first 15 minutes. Have you guys continued to talk about that, and just how confident are you that you guys are going to get back to the way you played the majority of the season?
Ruben, could you answer that, please? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that for Tom?
Yeah, for Tommy. No, you're good.
Go ahead, Tom.
You're good. Yeah. It was definitely that last couple minutes of that first half wasn't how we normally play, and we need to get back to how we played that first half, first 15 minutes. But that was the first game. We got the nerves out, got everything behind us, so we're going to be ready for tomorrow.
Okay, let's go on that edge.
Dave Borges, Hearst, Connecticut Media. You mentioned how the 06-07 back-to-back champions. Has Billy Donovan, have you guys been able to connect with him over the years since you've been in Florida? Is he close to the program still, giving you guys any advice or anything like that?
Is there anyone in particular you'd like to answer that?
I don't know. I guess on the left you mentioned the 06-07. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Micah, yeah.
There's been a couple of times he's come up to practice and sat through it and gave us a little talk in the huddle afterward or before. And he's always available. Several of us have his phone number that we can just text him whenever, and he can give us advice. But it's really good to have someone like that in our contacts that's also there for us to help us whenever we need.
Up in the front row there.
Torian was on this is for any one of you. Torian was on the Florida team that went back-to-back. Has he had anything to say about not letting UConn go one up on you?
Ruben, could you answer that?
Well, he just basically, he's just out there telling us that, just get ready, you worked hard for this moment, so just embrace it, live it, and just go out there and do what you do all season, because that's what we determine the game. So we just, it's all about us, what we do, how we take care of our business. So we just, focus on what we do and, let the game, speak for itself.
Any other questions? All right, gentlemen, you're excused. Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Appreciate you guys.
Let's just start second row.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Todd, a lot of coaches have praised your roster construction, and I'm just curious, maybe even going back to your first year and that UConn game, how much did that kind of provide the blueprint to where you are now, you think, in terms of seeing that team and what they did that night against you guys?
Yeah, it definitely opened my eyes to how much we needed to improve to be able to compete at the highest level. What Coach Hurley has been able to do over the last few years is remarkable, right? He hasn't lost in March in 3 years, I think 13 in a row, if I saw that correctly this morning. And, the thing that I appreciated most about their teams is obviously their talent was really, really special. They have multiple guys now playing in the NBA, but just how well they played together and how in sync and in unison they competed. It did. It provided a good, just kind of not necessarily blueprint, but our goal was to try to build something similar. And, I feel like we are in a really good spot right now, 3 years in the sense of building a team that enjoys playing together that's really deep.
Okay, let's go to the front row right here, or second row, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Todd. Given their success track record and just the tradition of 6 national titles since '99, what's the kind of the mental component that your team's going to have to kind of just set that aside? I know you guys are very confident guys, but is there an initial hey, this is UConn, we're as good at, we belong or whatever? Is there anything like that?
Well, I think the way we're trying to attack it is obviously, even though we might be favored, I think a lot of people still believe UConn's going to win this game because of their track record, because of Coach Hurley and the success that they've had. And it's on us to make sure we go out there and show what we're capable of. I think, they've done so well. They've been so consistent. Obviously, Coach Hurley's been here before. They have multiple players that have won national championships that expect to win this time of year. And for us, this is a relatively new position for us with the chance to advance to play in the Sweet 16. So, it gives us an opportunity to keep the chip on our shoulder. And, I do still think the main people that think we're going to advance is the people in our locker room. And we got to make sure we play that way tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to stay over here, and then we'll get you.
Coach Sam Callahan, the Daily Campus. UConn plays with split two bigs, and they both played very different styles. How are you preparing Alex Condon for that type of role, to try and adjust to whether Terrace or Sampson's on the court?
Yeah, we got to do everything we can on a short prep to prepare our guys, because to your point, Sampson and Terrace are both great players, but they're way different. And I think Sampson, he's done an incredible job providing a rim threat, in the ball screen, in the handoff game. I think I saw he's shooting like 75% from 2 or something this year, which is ridiculous. So we got to be mindful of that, not let him get behind us in the ball screen. And then, Terrace is a great player, but he's more of a low post scorer, more of a guy that they can throw it to on the low block and allow him to try to go get a basket. So the coverages are going to be a lot different depending on who's in the game. Micah and Rueben are going to have to be mindful of that and do a really good job being able to execute on a short prep.
Okay, second row.
Dave Borges, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Todd, I was wondering how much of an influence Billy Donovan may have been to you in the program since you've been here. Has he kind of offered you advice, helped you at all, and the team? And I know he's been somewhat of a sounding board for Dan Hurley in recent years for different things, but have you developed a good relationship with him?
Yeah, Coach Donovan's been amazing to me since I got the job. I remember I believe it was the day after I was fortunate enough to get this position. He called me and, just said, or I might have called him after getting his number, and he was awesome. He's like, whatever, as much as you want to connect with me or as little, like, I just want you to know I'm here for you and that I want you to be really, really successful. And that meant a lot. He was helpful for sure, kind of getting through the first couple months. And then, the funny thing is, developed a really good relationship with his father, who still lives in Gainesville. Myself, Duke Werner, my sports supervisor, and Billy D. Sr. go out to breakfast, once a quarter, I'd say. He definitely still likes to be around ball and talk ball, and that's been really neat. I got to play golf with Coach Donovan this summer, and we had a great time just kind of talking about hoop and talking about life a little bit. And, he's been really awesome, after big wins. He'll shoot us a text. Like after the SEC championship last Sunday, he shot me a really nice note congratulating us on his success. And, for me, to have someone that has had so much success and been such a remarkable coach at this level, to be so humble to reach out and offer his support, it means a lot to me.
Okay, let's go front row here and then fourth row, Jacob, and then we'll get.
Todd, would you talk about how in the development of this program, you've gone from a team that was pretty passive and aggressive your first year to one that has become very, very capable of playing physical games, and you're playing a team that maybe is as physical as there is in the country?
Yeah, honestly, Franz, that's a lot to do with the recruiting. We were able to get, after year one, obviously we added Micah and Tyrese and ZP and Walt. And, this year, obviously, having Ruben and Elijah, now we have a collective group that enjoys playing physically and plays with an edge. And, we've tried to be pretty consistent in our messaging as coaches over the years. And I just think this group has it a little more that way, and they're more receptive to that physicality, and they like to run to the fight. So the players deserve a lot of credit for that. Our coaches do a really good job of putting our guys in position, but our players are the one that go out and execute and are willing to kind of get nasty and get physical. And I think it's going to be really important for us to win this game tomorrow. We got to be able to do that against UConn tomorrow.
Okay, fourth row over there.
Hey, Todd.
Hey.
It's just the second round, but with it being UConn and being a one seed and with what you're building, how big does this moment feel, or how pivotal is this for the program that you're trying to build?
It's a huge moment. You got an opportunity to go play, if you can find a way to win this game tomorrow, to go to the Sweet 16. And, our goal being at Florida is to play deep into March, into April, and compete for championships. So, obviously, we've had a remarkable season. We've won 31 games to this point. But, I don't think we'll be as satisfied as we could be if we're not victorious tomorrow. So, every game at this point is huge, going to be really impactful to our program and the trajectory that we're trying to continue on. But, this game's definitely important. We're not running from that.
Okay, front row, Jacob, and then Ethan over there.
Todd, you guys knocked off Auburn earlier this season and snapped, I think it was a 14-game winning streak and a 30-game winning streak. I don't know how mindful you guys were of that going into the game, but knowing that they can snap a 13-game winning streak for UConn, does that provide any extra motivation for them in the tournament?
Okay. I was like, they won 13 in a row. Yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome. Like, that's what, and again, that's a big part of the message with the guys is like the UConn at this time of year, they believe they're going to win. They go into games believing they're going to win, whether they're 1 seed or 8, which they are now. I can't imagine that changes Alex Caravan's mentality. He's coming in here to try to bust our butt tomorrow. And, I know Coach Hurley's the same. He's no different. He's just expecting to win tomorrow. So we got to make sure we go out there and just match that mentality and, be physically and mentally tough for 40 minutes and do everything we can to knock them off the perch a little bit. But it's going to be a huge challenge. I do think our guys are excited about it and ready for it.
Okay, going back over this way.
Todd, curious, I know coaches never, Steve Reed from the AP, sorry. I know coaches never like to talk about games beyond the game ahead of them, but when you saw the bracket and you peeked ahead maybe, you see UConn, a 2-time defending champion in the second round, after winning the SEC, I was wondering, curious what your thoughts are. And then the second part of the question is, what is your biggest concern? What do you guys have to do to beat them tomorrow?
Yeah, again, I think, with I thought it was a pretty fair draw, to be honest. I mean, I think they were 34 in KenPom, and Oklahoma was 37 in KenPom at the time. Gonzaga was an 8 seed, and I think they were 10 in KenPom. So, that we got a fair draw that way. their program and expectation probably made it a little more difficult seeing them. But, once you get to this point in March, every team you're playing is really good, right? And so, we weren't thinking too much more about that. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question? What do we need to do to beat UConn? Yeah. I think we got to do a great job of taking them out of what they want to do in the half court offensively. Like, they run a lot of really, really good stuff. Misdirections, drifts, pin downs, different actions to get their shooters and playmakers available. We got to be mindful and do a really good job being on the scout. I think defensive communication is huge tomorrow. We got to make sure we're all on the same page and all 5 guys are working together that way. And we got to make sure we execute like we did in the SEC tournament. I thought our team was elite in all 3 games, executing on both sides of the ball. Yesterday we did it for 15 minutes. We got to do it for 40 tomorrow, though, if we want to beat this team.
Okay, 4th row, Jacob.
Hey, Todd, Zach Maskovich, West 2 Orlando. It's been a long time since a team has won 3 straight national championships. If you guys are able to beat UConn and end that chapter, how important would that be, and how motivational would it be?
It'd be exciting for us just because we get to move on. We're not too worried about UConn in terms of their path and what they've done. It's more, it's just more about us. And I think we'd be incredibly excited because we'd be able to get back to for this program to get back to the Sweet 16 and get back to, kind of where this program was 10 years ago. And I think that's the biggest thing for us as a program is continuing to try to get Gator basketball back where it has been over the past 20 years, winning national championships, going to Final Fours, playing in Sweet 16s, things of that nature.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll go back up front.
Does that second half last night give you kind of a hammer with the team a little bit, maybe instead of them cruising to like a 40-point win?
To be honest, the last 4 minutes of the first half gave me that hammer. It was addressed at halftime, and we were playing fantastic. We were up, I think, 51-19, and Norfolk's a good team. We were just playing about as good as you can play, and we took a breath, and a good team punishes you when you do that. And we made sure at halftime that our guys understood it wasn't acceptable, and they knew that. And I thought Norfolk played well again in the second half. And I'm not concerned about it moving forward, though. I think our guys do a good job of raising to the level of our competition, making sure that we compete at an insanely high level, and like they understand if we don't do that against UConn, we're going to be going home tomorrow.
Go ahead to the front row.
With 10 being the standard for an over/under, where was your anger at halftime, over or under?
Under 10?
Yeah.
That was 9.5.
You had a question? All right, up front, Jacob.
Todd, UConn leads the country in block shots. Just what have they done so well there? And do you feel like your guys' size can maybe make that not as much of a concern?
Their bigs are great at protecting the rim. The way they guard defensively, it allows them a little more free reign to go swing at shots and do a great job with their rim protection. And we're definitely mindful of that in terms of the way we want to attack them tomorrow and do what we can to keep bodies on them, to not let them get free runs, to go block shots. That's where our physicality's got to show up, and our bigs have to do a good job of owning the paint, owning the block, and not, letting Johnson and Reed be free to go roam and protect. So that'll be a huge part of our offensive success tomorrow. I think if we can execute that, we'll do a better job.
Go ahead, Ethan.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Todd, I think it was 10 for 31 from 3. What were your thoughts about, maybe some of the shots that you guys took from out there, and maybe the familiarity also being in the arena second time in terms of shooting?
Yeah, I thought we took pretty good shots. Obviously, Walter was unconscious, for the first half and made some bombs and some really, tough shots, but he makes tough shots look easy. I thought the rest of our guys took good shots. Tommy went 0 for 5. I thought he took 5 good threes, So we'll stay the course on that. I think we'll shoot the ball better collectively tomorrow.
Any other questions? All right.
Coach, Walter faced this team with Iona 2 years ago. Obviously a different team. That team won the national championship. But did Walter tell the team L about the play style that UConn has, just facing them from a past perspective?
He hasn't addressed the team about it or anything, but he definitely has a good understanding. Being in this position to compete against them, as we talked about, a couple of the guys are still on the team, for UConn that played in that game, and so there's some familiarity that way. And that experience for him will definitely help us tomorrow, for sure.
Any other questions? All right, Coach, you're excused. Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks. Thank you.